Okay, so it seems like a lot of you guys like the story that I told you guys about the car, and now I have to continue because I feel like I killed an elephant. Now I have to cut it into many small bits and explain exactly what happened at every stage. So last time where we were at, so it was now around 4 p.m. This is the first day of me buying the car. So it's 4 p.m. I'm sitting where we're in town. Me and my cousin Keith were in town, but then he has to go and attend to something that he had planned to prior. Cause remember we left the crib maybe at like 11 o'clock, and in my mind I was like, oh yeah, by 1 o'clock I'm gonna be back home. I'm gonna be chilling in my new car and all that stuff. But then, yeah, it's 4 p.m. I'm in town, and I don't know what to do now. So his friend, his cousin, who's a mechanic, he comes outside, and we put the key in the car. He brings out a battery. We try to jumpstart the car. Click, 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 the car's not starting. So what he does, I don't know what kind of mechanical voodoo he did up front there, and then he put his hand, I think, on the I don't want to say carburetor, but I think I'm gonna say carburetor. He put his hand on the carburetor just to check if there was any compression, and it seems that there wasn't any compression in the car. And I didn't understand what was going on yet, but I knew that it was now time to be worried o'clock. Okay, so he says to me, he asks us what we did, and as we're telling him, and we're telling him about the part where we got inside the hotel, and we got some bottles of water, and we poured water into the car, and he goes, yo, you did what? That's when it came to me that, oh, you're not supposed to pour water into the car whilst the engine is still hot, or unless if the car is running. So if the car is not running, the engine is still hot, you're not pouring any water in it. And if the car is hot, the engine is still running, you can pour water in the car, but you have to pour it strategically. You have to pour it slowly. Don't pour it all in one go, because what had happened is, when we were pouring the water, the engine was still hot, so then we damaged the gaskets. But then at that point, I didn't even know what a gasket was. I didn't know what coolant was. Like, none of this made sense to me, because like the car had fuel, the battery was working, so the car should start. And I was I was like both upset. I was also scared, and I was very anxious. I was very anxious. I was nervous. So somebody said, no, maybe you should just call the guy from the car sale who had sold us the car. He went into he was walking about, because like I said, the car broke down right next to the car sale. So then we walked out. I was like, oh yeah, why don't you just call the guy? So we took the phone, we called the guy comes through, and he's very defensive right off the bat. He's very defensive because he feels like maybe we're accusing him of selling us a car that doesn't work. And at that point I'm feeling that way too, because I don't know anything about cars. And he asked us to go through the same motion, and we went through, and we go through that motion, and we tell him, and he's like, you boys, you just blew, the car hit the head. I was like, hit the head? What's this new terminology? I thought it blew the gasket. So I'm like, why don't we just buy a new gasket and put it back, and then we just go home? And then it's like, no, we don't do that here. So another like crucial point where a mistake was made is, my friend Kid had to go somewhere, so he left, and it was now me and this guy, the guy who sold me the car. So he says to me, no, my friend, I can help you. uh I can help you. There's a cousin of mine whose brother runs a mechanic shop. Already is a red flag right there. That's a red flag. So he's like, okay, no, let's go there, and then he will look at the car and he will tell you what's going on, or you can leave the car overnight and then you can come back and get it in the morning, and then he will explain to you what's the problem with the car. So now we're in town, we're pushing this car, I'm pushing the car, and we push it into the garage. I don't know if you've ever been to Bulawayo Bulawayo if you're watching this, but then the garage is the one that's is opposite Harvest House. It's downtown, the the mechanics hood area in Bulawayo. This video is gonna be like 20 minutes, by the way. So like when we get there, we see the guy, boom boom boom. He says, okay, fine, we can look at the car, but then the main mechanic is not here, so we're gonna leave it here. You're gonna come and check it out tomorrow in the morning, maybe 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Cool. So we leave the car, and but then before we had taken the car to that guy, the guy who sold me the car, he had said to me, hey, I know another guy who fixes Opels. He's an expert in Opel Corsas, because this is the only thing that he works on. But then he's in Popoma. We were in town, so Popoma's like maybe that's like what for like 30 45 minutes ride. 30 45 minutes ride. But then the car was going to have to be like pulled. So he was like, okay, no, I'll charge you a little bit of money. We'll pull the car. We take it to him in the morning. You're gonna go and get your car. It's gonna be working fine, or at least you're gonna have a proper diagnosis. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like that makes so much sense. But then I was super impatient to get my car home, so I thought, no, let's just leave it with the guy in town, so that tomorrow morning I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna get my car, even though I don't know how to drive. So we leave it with those guys, and I go back home. That ride home was one of the saddest rides home that I've ever had, because I just spent $2,000 around about $2,000. And the night before, I was so excited because I was like, yo, tomorrow I'm gonna buy a car. Yeah, it's the first time that I've ever owned a car. It's like first time that we ever had a car at home. Like, it's so exciting. Like my mom, because when I bought the car, my mom wasn't there. She'd gone to the Royals to visit my grandmother. And I was like, oh yeah, when she comes back, I'm gonna like surprise her. She's gonna find the car here, and she's just gonna be like proud of me and all that stuff. It's just gonna be vibes. But no, life doesn't work that way, bruh. I go back home. Chilling the whole day at home. That was on a Tuesday. That was on a Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, we bought the car on a Wednesday. Then Thursday, I went back. Now I was on my own. I had my Seicho with me. I just went back there. I go to the garage, and another interesting bit, like an interesting bit at this time. I had gotten an invitation to apply for a job, right? Hey man, this story's got so many layers. You're gonna love this. So I got an invitation for a job. It's gonna be a remote job. The company was based in South Africa. I was gonna be doing data analysis, data science, Power BI, all that stuff with them. So on that day that I left the car there, on the day that I went back to see the car on the second day, I got an email. It was like, okay, you passed the initial interview stage. Now we want you to complete some tasks for us, and if we complete this task, then we're gonna assess them, and then we're gonna decide if we're gonna give you a job or not. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm excited. So I'm in town, and I've got my satchel, got my laptop inside, and the guy who was supposed to be working on the car, because it's an Opel Corsa, and screws that I needed to open the engine are different from what they are usually used to working with. They had to spend like half the day trying to make the tools or find the tools to open the engine, because if your car if your car has got a blown gasket, they have to like open the head, né? Like remove the head, and then they have to take no, is it the head? I think the head is the one that's taken for scheming, because apparently it would have like bended over, like because of when metal contacts with cold water, the metal, it tends to bend over a little bit. So then they would need to skim the head so that it becomes like level. So what needs to be done actually is that they open the head, they take the head to the engineers they work on it. The engineers, they charge you separately because like this has nothing to do with the mechanics. So the mechanics open the head, and then so it took them almost the whole day to find a way to open the head, and like by the time that they did, the guy who were the engineers who were gonna like skim the head and all that stuff, they had gone. So they were like, okay, cool, you might as well just come back tomorrow, because like tomorrow the first thing in the morning we're going to take this head to those guys. They're going to skim it, then or they're going to bring it back, and then everything is going to be fine. You're going to take your car and you drive it away. So I think the engineers, the total price was like 84 $85 or something like that. And I was like, yo, how am I going to find I was going to collapse. I don't know how I made it. I was gonna collapse. So, but then you'll find I'm a very strong lad. As the story progresses, you'll find I'm a very strong lad. So, yeah. So we take the next day. It's now Friday. We take the head to the guy, and they skim it. I think they finished doing that stuff, because there's other cars too. There's load shedding. Load shedding is when there's no electricity and then it comes back late. So there's like load shedding and all that stuff, and I think it took almost the whole day to get the head to be skimmed, and then to bring it in together. And they were working on other cars as well, so mine wasn't really much of a priority. So by the time that they got the car, I hope you can hear that. By the time that they got the head, they had to like bring it back to. The sound is really bothering me. I think I'm gonna shift. Okay, I think that sound is gone. Okay, so after that, this we're now on what, Friday, right? On Friday they had skimmed. All of this stuff is there now. But then what I didn't know is every time that you skim, because in my mind I'm like, oh, the gasket is blown. Okay, fine, like, put it back then. So it turns out you have to buy a new one, and also you have to go and buy some oil, and after that you also have to buy some oil filter. And then after that too, you have to like just buy a few other things just to make sure. There's these things that are called piston rings. Sometimes they bend, and when they bend they need to be replaced. But then like for my situation, it wasn't that. It was something else. I've forgotten the name of those things. But then he demonstrated them for me, that like, you see, these ones, they're not working. The one like the one, like only one of them is working, and you're supposed to have 4 of them. Like, no, you're supposed to have 8 of them that are working. So you have to go and buy 7 of these motherfuckers. I'm like, okay, cool. How much is? I think everything, like buying all of that stuff, the gasket, the oil, all of that. It set me back, like, that was maybe that was, yeah, maybe 150. No, the 150 is a bit much. Maybe like about 100. I'm sure it was about 100. So Friday, yeah, we get everything done. Okay, fine, it's working. Boom, boom, boom. Sure. Yeah. Like let us start putting everything together. They put everything together, and they try to start the car. The car won't start. They try to start the car. The car won't start. And then it bleeds over to Saturday. Nah? Saturday, they tell me that they only work half day. They don't work on Saturday or on Saturday, but they had managed to get the car, or to like have everything complete, but then they didn't know why the car wasn't starting. Then they needed somebody who was going to come and put the wiring all together. Like, what do you mean? And it's this guy who's the electrical engineer of the car, was going to be putting all of this together. And guess what? They were like, oh yeah, you have to pay him separately, because we're not part of whatever you and him have going on there. So this guy says, okay, no, I need some electrical tape. Maybe like go in there, just get some electrical tape, get some it was just electrical tape with that guy. I buy the electrical tape, I give it to him, and then he starts like tying stuff together, all of that stuff. Things that I felt were a little bit unnecessary, And also, if I'm paying you to fix my car, why don't you just fix my car? I didn't get that part. But then I realized later that I probably got conned. So the worst part about this process mostly was the fact that I knew that I was getting conned, but then I didn't have enough information to know how I was getting conned. I knew I was getting scammed somewhere, but it didn't feel like I was getting scammed, and that was what was frustrating me the most. Okay, so but then what it was with the so now or not now on Monday, because the guy who was supposed to work on the car, the electrical engineer, he doesn't work on Sundays. He's a man of God. Okay, so he wasn't working on Sundays. He was working. If he worked on it on Monday, he did his thing. But then the car still wouldn't start. So after like fighting with the car and fighting with the car and fighting with the car, the guys, they finally managed to get the car to start. But we had a faulty battery. You remember when I told you that this battery is gonna come back to bite me? Yeah, we had a faulty battery. And the thing with the clutch of that particular car, it was a very, very tough clutch. So and the ways that the gears were aligned were very, very different from what Keith was used to. Keith was going to be the baby driver. So it was on Tuesday. That's when we went to collect the car on Tuesday. It was me and Keith, and then we go there, and then I'm now talking to the guys. They're like, okay, so like the guy, he test drives the car, and the car is just running all well. So what we were afraid of though was the battery, because if the car was going to turn off at any point during our ride home, then we were going to have trouble starting it back up again because of the battery. So what we then resorted to doing was calling my other cousin to say, okay, my man, maybe you may need to jump us along the way, maybe come to town with your car, and then yeah, you're just gonna accompany us home. Cool. So we managed to get the car started, and then I pay the guy because it was a weird thing where he didn't mention how much he was going to charge me until the end. So okay, fine, I charged the guy. Like the guy charges me, I pay him. I think I paid him like 100 or 150 around there. So already I just bought the car. I bought the car maybe 2K. I have spent $500. I've spent about $500 on the car already. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, I've spent like 500,000 on the car. So I'm down about 2,800, I think, on the car alone. I haven't driven it. It hasn't even gotten home yet, and it wasn't gonna get home until a while. How? Okay, fine. Let me tell you how. So me and Kid, we hit the car. We're on our way home. My other cousin is following us behind just in case the car runs out of battery and we need to be jump started because we have got a shit battery. So we were very wise guys. You know me and my friend. We know cars so much. So we get there. We don't get home, but we get in my hood because I'm from Mkanwini. So we get to Mkanwini, and the way that we had went about it was we were close to my other cousin's place, and same as my other cousin Keith's place. Yeah? So we wanted to drop by there, say hi to his brother and all that stuff, and yeah, because like this car had started a fair bit of drama, and people were curious to see what kind of car it is in the first place. So yeah, we get there, and we see I would say what's up, say what's up. Kid is in a hurry. He has to go out and go and do something. So but then we parked the cars. It was me and my cousin's car, and then we just took a nice cool little picture there, you know what I mean? It was just like me and the boys, and so Kid is like, yo man, like let's get in the car, let's get the car home. And then because I got a bunch of stuff that I need to do, I'm like, yeah, cool man, I appreciate that, thank you very much. And we get in to leave. He starts the car, click 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 click. Click, 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 click. There. This car is not starting again. Why? Why is it doing this to me? I don't understand. Now I'm afraid. Now I wanted to cry. At this point, I really wanted to cry. And one of the tricks that you have to do with your car, right? Particularly with that car, because of the way that it was bent and balanced when it was standing, it was difficult sometimes to get fuel into the carburetor. So you had to so that you can just have the engine starting, and then you can like put back the fuel. So I had to do that. I had to do that until I was buffing gasoline, baba. I know what gasoline tastes like, and it's not nice. And I did that. I tried to do that. I did to do that. The car still wasn't starting. We tried to jump start it. Now we were entering into phase 2. What happened after that? Hey, if you wanna know, you have to watch the next episode, which is coming out tomorrow. Me and my car. Hey, Baba, we went to so much me in that car. Hey, you don't know. There's still more to go here. And remember, this is like this is like less than a week into buying this car, and I had that car for close to like a year. So yeah, I have more stories. Let's just hold on. It's coming soon.